Hey everybody, wanted to describe what you're going to do for the forensic experiment, which Professor Sherlock has conveniently titled The Case of the Comatose Guitarist. And so you are an expert and you obviously follow the Rolling Stones, and during this, during a show, one of the members of the Rolling Stones, probably Keith Richards, is poisoned by a fan. Now, we don't know what the poison is, and the fan isn't around in order to ask what the poison is. But what we do know is the poison had to be dissolved in an organic solvent before it was administered. So that's where you come in. If you can identify which solvent it is, we can then identify the poison, and then from there we can identify the antidote. So there are three solvents that you're going to be testing for. There's acetone here. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this. There's acetone, there's ethanol, and then there's propanol. Okay, now every year it's different a little bit. Sometimes it's prepared that you have one propanol, sometimes it's prepared that you have two propanol, but regardless, you have propanol here. Okay, from that, what you have to do is develop a way to determine which solvent is there, and you have to tell me how much is there. And so you have these three ways of doing that. You have a refractometer. So a refractometer can give you the index of refraction, and from there it can also give you the percent composition of the solvent. You have an IR spectrophotometer, which can tell you maybe what the identity is, or you can identify some of the structural features of these compounds. And then you have a gas chromatograph. Okay, the gas chromatograph can also help you in determining how much of the compound is present, and possibly the identity of the compound. Okay, so what your job is to do, and this is what makes this lab slightly different, is you are going to hand me a proposal, and that proposal is going to have how you are planning to do the lab. Now, so you're going to hand me a proposal, and that proposal is going to have how you plan on doing the lab. So you're going to have a proposal, and it's going to have kind of the same things in the proposal. You're going to go through and you're going to tell me what you plan on doing, and so that is going to be kind of like a general procedure. Okay, so first, you're going to do GC. I don't know. I'm making that up. You may not do GC. But first, you're going to do GC, and GC is going to tell you what compound it is. Okay. Or what, and then you're going to be able to determine what percentage it is. And then maybe later, you're going to do, next you may do IR. Okay. Just FYI, I definitely wouldn't do GC first. And then IR, because it's acetone, alcohol, and two different alcohols, you can kind of tell the identity. You can identify some of it. You can come up with the idea of it, the identity of it. And then maybe you're going to use the index of refraction, the refractometer, to come up with the index of refraction that can also help you verify the percentage. And so, and the identity of the unknown. So there's three things here that you're going to do. The GC can tell you mainly what the GC can tell you mainly what the percentage is. The index of refraction can tell you the percentage and can tell you the quantity, or sorry, the identity of the compound, and the IR can tell you the ID. It can identify the compound based on whatever its thing is, okay? Its spectra is. So using those three methods and anything else that you want to use, your job is to tell me what the compound is, what the solvent is, ID it, and then tell me what the percentage of that solvent is in the sample. So for this lab, I'm going to give you two different things. I'm going to give you the pure solvent, and then I'm going to give you a mix, okay? And that's what you're going to have. That's all you're going to have in a forensic experiment. All you have in the real world is whatever you get out of the crime scene. And so these were the things that we found in the crime scene. So the other things that you need to include, not only the general procedure, the proposal, but you should also include a data table, which would look like let's see, data table that would look like your physical constant sheet, because you're going to want to know for, let's say, acetone, you're going to want to know what it's going to look like in IR. What are some of the characteristic peaks in IR? What is the index of refraction? Okay, GC, you can't figure anything out, but you can give me what the characteristic peaks are here. And then you can tell me what the index of refraction of acetone is, and you can do that for ethanol, and you can do that for whichever propanol it is, okay, whether it's 1-propanol or 2-propanol. Okay, and so now you have your information about what you're looking at to solve for in the lab. So that is what you're going to do, and you're going to type this up. You're going to, instead of doing this in a lab notebook, you're going to type this up. Okay. So you can either use Word, or me, I'm a Google guy, so you can use a Google Doc. Okay, and share it with me. But you want to have this ready to go so that you have some idea of what process you're going to follow when you get into the lab the next time. So that's what you're doing, and you're going to have 3 weeks to figure this out. I'm not going to help you hardly at all with this. I'm going to let you try to figure it out and slog through it. There is going to be one thing that I'm going to show you how to do, so that you know how to do it, and that's I'm going to show you how to do an index of refraction calibration curve, so you can hopefully determine on a calibration curve what percentage your unknown is. So that'll be a separate video, but that's what you need to do for your pre-lab. This isn't going to be terribly long. It's going to have a couple of sections. It's going to have your proposal, which is going to be your general procedure, and then it's going to have that data table, which is like your physical constant sheet. So there's not necessarily a ton that goes into this, but it still kind of consists of all the different things that we have learned how to do up to this point. Okay, so there it is. That's what you're expected to do for your proposal for the forensics lab. All of this just to save Keith Richards. So have a great day, everybody.